In philosophical discourse, especially in the Buddhist context, the term Dhamma, Pali, or Dharma, Sanskrit, is a multifaceted concept that serves as a foundational principle in explaining the nature of reality, ethics, and the path to liberation. Below are several key dimensions of Dhamma in philosophy. 1. The teachings of the Buddha. In Buddhism, Dhamma primarily refers to the Buddha's teachings. These encompass practical guidance for ethical living, meditation, and wisdom. The teachings outline the nature of suffering, dukkha, its origin, its cessation, and the path leading to its cessation, the Four Noble Truths and the Noble Eightfold Path, a systematic method for realizing ultimate freedom from suffering. Sight turns search. Nash number 2, the natural order and law of causality. Beyond being a set of doctrines, Dhamma is also understood as the natural law or cosmic order that governs the arising and passing away of all phenomena. In Buddhist philosophy, this is closely linked to the doctrine of dependent origination, pratityasamutpada, which teaches that all things, dharmas or phenomena, arise in dependence on causes and conditions and lack an inherent independent essence. This insight into impermanence and non-self is central to understanding the nature of reality. Sight turns search. 3. Ethical and moral law. In a broader Indian philosophical context, Dharma also denotes duty, righteousness, and moral law. In Buddhism, while the ethical dimension is integrated into the Buddha's teachings, guiding one to act in ways that are beneficial and non-harmful, it is understood not as a fixed set of divine commands, but as a natural order observable in the way actions, karma, lead to consequences. This view reinforces the idea that ethical conduct is intrinsic to the way the world operates. Sight turns search 1. 4. Phenomenological constituents. Especially in the Theravada Abhidhamma, the term Dhamma is used to denote the ultimate constituents of experience. In this analysis, reality is broken down into momentary phenomena, dhammas, such as consciousness, feeling, and mental formations. This systematic inquiry into experience shows that everything is conditioned and impermanent, a view that supports the doctrines of anicca, impermanence, and anatta, not self. Sight turns search. 5. A bridge between conventional and ultimate truths. Philosophically, Dhamma also acts as a bridge between the conventional world, the realm of everyday experiences and socially agreed meanings, and the ultimate truth, which is revealed through direct insight, vipassana, into the true nature of phenomena. This dual perspective underpins much of Buddhist thought, urging practitioners to see beyond conventional labels to the emptiness, shunyata, of all phenomena. In summary, Dhamma in philosophy is not merely a set of abstract principles, but a dynamic, all-encompassing framework. It is the Buddha's teaching that explains the workings of the natural world, the nature of human experience, and the ethical conduct that leads to liberation. Whether viewed as the law of causation, the ethical order, or the constituents of phenomenal experience, Dhamma provides a profound insight into the nature of existence and the path toward awakening. Feel free to ask if you'd like to explore any of these aspects further. The term Dhamma, or Dharma in Sanskrit, originally means natural law or truth, and in the Buddhist context, it refers to the inherent order that governs both the physical and mental realms. In natural science, we similarly seek the universal laws that explain how the world works, from the subatomic to the cosmic scale. Here are some key points that illustrate how Dhamma relates to natural science. Tash Dhamma as the law of nature. Universal order, just as natural science is built on the understanding that there are consistent laws, like gravity, thermodynamics, and electromagnetism, governing matter and energy, the Buddha taught that the Dhamma is an ever-present, unchanging truth that underlies all phenomena. This means that nothing in existence happens by chance. Rather, everything arises, exists, and ceases according to natural laws. No creator principle. In Buddhism, the Dhamma isn't seen as created by a divine being, but as an intrinsic quality of reality. This resonates with the scientific perspective, where natural phenomena are explained by impersonal forces and interactions rather than by supernatural intervention. Parallels between Buddhist thought and science. Empirical inquiry. The Buddha encouraged his followers to come and see, ihipasiko, advocating for a direct, empirical approach to understanding reality, a method that mirrors the scientific method of observation and verification. Impermanence and change. The concept of anicca, impermanence, in Buddhism reflects the scientific view that all matter and energy are in a state of constant flux, evolving over time. Interdependence. The Buddhist teaching of dependent origination, pratityasamutpada, explains that all phenomena arise in dependence on multiple causes and conditions. Modern systems theory and ecology similarly emphasize the interconnectedness of elements in complex systems. Mind and matter. Modern thinkers such as Fritjof Capra have noted that the holistic, dynamic view found in Buddhism, with its insights into the nature of the mind and reality, finds intriguing parallels in quantum physics and relativity. These scientific theories also challenge the notion of static, independent entities, and instead point to a universe of relationships and processes. Integrating Dhamma with natural science. Buddhist scholars and scientists alike have proposed that the Buddha's insights can be seen as a kind of science of the mind that complements the study of the external world. For example, direct experience. Both science and Buddhism value direct observation as the means to understand reality. While science uses instruments and experiments, Buddhist meditation provides an introspective method to observe mental and physical processes directly. Holistic understanding. Buddhism does not draw a strict line between the inner and outer worlds. Instead, it proposes that our mental states and the external environment are deeply interrelated, a view increasingly supported by interdisciplinary research in neuroscience, ecology, and systems theory. Conclusion. In summary, Dhamma in natural science refers to the idea that the same natural laws which govern the cosmos also underlie our inner experiences. Buddhism's empirical approach to understanding the mind and the world complements the methods of natural science, and many modern scholars and scientists find that Buddhist teachings offer a rich, holistic perspective on the nature of reality. Cite, turn, search, Zuzuren. Cite, turn, search, 5. The term Dhamma or Dharma in Sanskrit is remarkably multifaceted. It refers not only to the teachings of the Buddha, but also to a universal moral order and law that has long guided both individual behavior and statecraft. In religion. In the Buddhist context, Dhamma is the core teaching that outlines the path to liberation. It encompasses such key doctrines as the Four Noble Truths and the Noble Eightfold Path, offering a way to understand and overcome suffering. Beyond its strictly religious connotations, Dhamma is seen as the truth or law underlying all phenomena, inviting practitioners to cultivate virtues like compassion, wisdom, and non-attachment. This ethical framework is at the heart of Buddhist practice, aiming to transform one's inner life and ultimately lead to awakening. In politics. Historically, many rulers have adopted Dhamma as a guiding principle for governance. A famous example is the Mauryan Emperor Ashoka, who, after witnessing the brutal aftermath of warfare, embraced Dhamma as a means to promote ethical conduct, social welfare, and religious tolerance throughout his empire. His rock and pillar edicts, which call for nonviolence, compassion for all living beings, and respect for diverse religious practices, illustrate how Dhamma was used to create a just and humane polity. In this light, Dhamma isn't merely a spiritual ideal. It becomes a practical blueprint for ruling with responsibility and care. Another influential concept is the Dasavida Raja Dhamma, the tenfold virtue of the ruler. This traditional list of virtues, including charity, morality, honesty, and nonviolence, outlines the qualities expected of a just ruler. By embodying these virtues, a ruler could govern in a way that fosters social harmony and well-being. These ideas continue to resonate in various political contexts today, where ethical leadership is often seen as essential for peace and stability. In modern political discourse, especially in countries with strong Buddhist traditions such as Thailand, the concept of Dhamma continues to inform debates over ethics and governance. Political parties and movements have, at times, invoked Dhamma to critique corruption and advocate for moral reforms. While the language of Dhamma in politics may differ somewhat from its purely spiritual or meditative usage, both realms share the common goal of nurturing a society grounded in compassion, fairness, and responsibility. In summary, whether as a guide for personal liberation or as a principle of ethical governance, Dhamma bridges the spiritual and the secular. It reminds us that at the core of both individual well-being and a just society lies a commitment to values that transcend mere ritual or power. Cite turn search. Cite turn search 31. Dhamma, or Dharma, in literature, art, and design refers not only to the Buddha's teachings and the universal moral order, but also to a way of life and a creative, aesthetic sensibility that has evolved over millennia. This multifaceted concept influences works from sacred texts and epic narratives to subtle visual symbols and contemporary design practices. In literature, canonical texts. The Buddha's teachings are preserved in works like the Dhammapada, Jataka tales, and other suttas. These texts use stories, aphorisms, and poetic language to convey profound ethical, spiritual, and philosophical truths. Narrative and allegory. Buddhist literature often uses allegory and metaphor to illustrate the path to awakening. For instance, the transformation of a lotus emerging unstained from muddy water symbolizes the journey from ignorance to enlightenment. Modern reinterpretations. Contemporary writers and scholars reread and reinterpret these ancient texts, drawing connections between the timeless wisdom of the Dhamma and modern life challenges. In art, symbolism. Buddhist art is rich with symbols such as the Dharma chakra, wheel of the Dhamma, lotus, Bodhi tree, endless knot, and Buddha footprints. Each symbol encapsulates aspects of the Buddha's teachings, like the cyclical nature of life, purity amidst worldly defilements, and the interconnectedness of all phenomena. Aesthetic expression. From the aniconic phase of early Buddhist art to the highly figurative representations in later periods, art has been a medium for expressing not just religious devotion, but also a meditative state. Many Buddhist artists see their creative process as a form of mindfulness practice, a way to reveal inner truths. Integration with practice. In many traditions, creating or contemplating art is itself a spiritual practice. Works of art, whether ancient thankas or modern installations, are meant to evoke a state of awareness, compassion, and insight. In design, architectural and urban design, the principles of Dhamma can be seen in the design of temples, stupas, and monuments. For example, the Dharma chakra is not only a spiritual symbol, but also an element in national emblems, such as the Ashoka chakra on the Indian flag, representing order, progress, and ethical governance. Contemporary creative practices. Initiatives like Dharma by Design merge mindfulness with creativity, using design workshops and art exercises to help individuals explore their inner selves. This approach views design as a means to solve problems, express individuality, and connect with a deeper sense of purpose. Visual language and branding. In modern graphic design and branding, Buddhist motifs, subtle uses of geometric patterns, natural forms, and harmonious color schemes can evoke calmness, balance, and ethical values. Designers draw on these elements to create visuals that communicate integrity and continuity. Conclusion. Across literature, art, and design, the Dhamma serves as both a subject and a method, a guiding principle that inspires creative expression and ethical living. Whether through the timeless wisdom found in ancient texts, the evocative imagery of Buddhist art, or the mindful approach to contemporary design, the influence of the Dhamma offers a way to reconnect with values of compassion, insight, and harmonious order in a rapidly changing world. In the context of Vipassana meditation, Dhamma, the Pali form of the Sanskrit Dharma, refers to the universal law or truth that governs all phenomena. Originally meaning the law of nature, it embodies the natural order by which everything arises, persists, and ceases. When you practice Vipassana, seeing things as they really are, you're not only learning a technique, but also directly experiencing this Dhamma as it manifests in your bodily sensations, emotions, thoughts, and mental processes. By observing the continuous arising and passing away of these phenomena with equanimity, you gain insight into the three universal characteristics: impermanence, anicca, unsatisfactoriness, dukkha, and non-self, anatta. This direct experiential knowledge of the Dhamma is what ultimately leads to mental purification and liberation from suffering. In traditions taught by teachers like S.N. Goenka, the emphasis is on a non-sectarian, scientific approach, one that invites each practitioner to verify the truth of the Dhamma through personal insight rather than through blind faith or ritual. In this way, the practice of Vipassana serves as a practical method for living in harmony with the natural law or Dhamma, inherent in every moment of experience. Sight turn, search. The term Dhamma in nonviolent communication refers to how Buddhist teachings, the Dhamma, inform and enrich the practice of nonviolent communication, NVC. In Buddhism, the Dhamma encompasses the Buddha's teachings, such as right speech, mindfulness, compassion, and loving kindness, that guide ethical behavior and reduce suffering. Similarly, NVC, as developed by Marshall Rosenberg, emphasizes honest, empathic communication by focusing on observations, feelings, needs, and requests. Key points of integration.